Hey everybody! So I'm in the basement, not working out right now, but my kiddos are doing their thing, doing their nighttime little routine of fighting, kicking, arguing, getting along for 5 seconds, writing out birthday invitations, fighting, getting along, bribing. They're totally up there arguing over the remote and the fact that Rebecca wants to watch something that no one wants to watch and she's paying him $1 to give her the remote. Like, seriously. So this part 3 of this blog series is kind of, it's kind of funny. I almost kind of went, you know what? I don't want to finish writing this blog series because the last couple of days, my youngest has been kind of having some trouble at school. He's missed one day and then something happened. I don't know if this is a cough medicine or what's going on, but he's kind of back to some old patterns of behaviors that we've been seeing. So that kind of is, you know, a little frustrating as a parent who's also a health and fitness coach who's trying to teach other people to deal with stress and to work with your children and to pass in homework on time. And I tell you right now, he's had a project that we worked on that was done and he left it on the island, like full on stress mode. My level went from here where it already was to flying high when I got home from work today and saw that it was sitting on the island. He had a book report that the class was working on and they had to finish some drawings and those sorts of things. And we worked on them and guess what? He left it home. And so here I am writing a blog, doing a video series about how children struggle, what we can do to support our kids in school, and kind of ironic when my own flippin' child is not taking their stuff to school. So tonight I wanted to talk to you about a little bit of a flip to all of that. That yes, our children have anxiety, and I'm certainly not going to get into the anxiety that children feel. I don't really know if my children feel anxiety. They certainly just don't love school. So it kind of hurts a little bit. But as I talk about in this post, I know the system that we're in, and I know the realities of how we teach and how we assess and what our expectations are and what the class compositions are. And knowing that, you know, perhaps your child is a little piece of that class composition and is a little turd sometimes is enough to make you go, I wonder if this teacher thinks that I'm a bad parent. Or I wonder if, I wonder what the teacher must think. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow. And I think we put a lot of stress on ourselves as parents because we start to internalize how other people might think of us. And that can be as parents, it can be in our health and fitness, it can be in our shopping habits, our spending habits, like whatever we do in life, we think other people are judging what we're doing and have an opinion on it. And guess what? That's okay. It is 100% okay to have an opinion about what somebody else does or doesn't do. But what's not okay is for you to take that on yourself and let it dictate your happiness. And so I almost was like, you know what? Here I am, such a hypocrite. I can't possibly finish writing this blog tonight, which I was going to finish up anyway, but I was going to just kind of go, we're done. How can I, when I'm giving tips and tricks on how to keep your kids interested in school and how to keep them, you know, engaged with their homework and all those sorts of things, when my own, I say children, but really, well, it is 2 of them. Rebecca seems to like school. There's a few, you know, issues here and there. She's really hard on herself. She's competitive. She likes to do well. And when she feels like she's not doing well, she shuts down and says that, you know, she's not good at that, this or that. And right now it's math. She's hating math because she's not good at it. When it just took a few minutes, showed her some ways to do some things. And not me, because I teach grade 1. I don't do grade 6 math. But my other 2, as I've indicated, don't love school. And so what do we do as parents to try and not let that get to us, right? Stress can overtake our lives. And so I'm upstairs, I'm trying to get lunches made, do a little bit of homework that I have for my class tomorrow, make sure that some homework is done with kids that don't really want to do homework, right? That can be really stressful. And so you see me every day working out in the morning. Sure, that's one way that I alleviate stress. Reading, listening to blogs, listening to music, ways that you can kind of separate yourself from what they are or are not doing in the classroom. And big picture, you guys, like, kids need to be outdoors playing, and I'm seeing all kinds of posts coming up in my newsfeed actually about outdoor play and climbing and jumping and getting hurt and getting dirty and exploring. And my husband jokes all the time that I should just homeschool and take in a bunch of kids from our neighborhood and kind of alleviate that stress from parents with what's going on in our classrooms. But the reality is, in our school board anyway, here in Nova Scotia, in our board, because I think it's different across the province, our day is going to get longer for our youngest children with a half an hour extra. Maybe no big deal. I think the students that I have in my class, another half an hour is going to be a little much. It's not going to affect my children next year because they're all going to be in grades 3 and up, so that all of their day will be the same anyway. But that stress of a longer day and being expected to sit and listen, there's a time and place, right? Children need to be expected to sit and listen and do their work, have pride in their work, and want to show that they're capable of doing it. And as teachers, we need to see that. We need to be able to see children showing what they're able to do. But I think another side of that is understanding that your kiddos are only small for so long. And outdoor play and being able to explore, there's a lot of learning experience that go on in there. And I mean, my little guy might have been pushing the bench next door, apparently, with the boys on the street, pushing the bench that our neighbor has down in his yard, and almost pushed it into the river, and that wasn't well received, right? And so sometimes I feel that as a parent of busy boys, I'm constantly getting messages of he's doing this and he's doing that, and while I take them very seriously and I make sure that I talk to my children and make sure they know right from wrong, and if they're not showing up to know right from wrong, that I'm continuing to try and instill that in them, I also need to remember that there are little boys who are growing and who our expectations need to be growing as well, but that our children kind of need that time to be kids, right? Join teams, join soccer teams, join RIA teams, whatever it's going to be that's going to interest your child. Those activities outside of school, I think, are very important. And so while our evenings are very busy and we always have something on the go, and maybe sometimes we're reading our books in the back of the car, or we're reading them at supper time, sometimes that has to happen to sacrifice some of the things that we want to make sure our children are involved in. So don't stress. And if you are feeling stressed, there's lots of ways that we as adults can kind of alleviate stress. My number one is exercise. If I don't do it, I'm done. Like, I can't imagine getting home from work today and having to work out. So for me, it's first thing in the morning, but I don't skip my workout, because if I tell myself I'll do it later, it's not going to happen. I'm actually probably going to skip it, make lots of excuses throughout the day. Listening to music on your way home from work rather than listening to the radio. Making sure that you're kind of keeping your thoughts in check, because if you're anticipating your kids having a bad day, or you're anticipating pushback from homework, or you're anticipating that struggle, then that's just going to add to your stress. So make sure that you're kind of putting some things in your life purposefully. Make sure you're intentionally putting things in your life for you, so that it's not always all about your kids. I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of the times they are ready to start something that I have to offer with my VIP groups, but they just don't have the time yet, right? Because they're busy with sporting activities, or Girl Scouts, or Boy Scouts, or club, Cubs or Beavers, whatever the boy ones are. Mine aren't involved in those ones, but they're busy with those sorts of things. And so they have registration, so they can't afford it. They have uniforms they have to get, so they can't afford it, which is all awesome and very important. But just make sure that you're taking time for yourself, so that you can have something for you, so that you can then give to other people in your life. We give. And any guys out there, you give too. But I kind of feel like sometimes the moms get the short end of the stick with what they need to give always. And they don't want to stop to give to themselves because they feel guilty. Don't get stuck in that trap, because it doesn't take a lot of time in your day to look after yourself. And what's going to happen is that compound effect. You're going to look after yourself, and guess what? It's going to compound, and you're going to feel amazing, and your kids are going to reap the benefits. Okay, have a great night. Bye.